everybody! Ghana Goddess Outwear is here again. You all know it's that time of the month where I show up, show you my work. I love this. This is cute. Sagittarius is a fire sign, so anything in the air, in the fire energy is perfect. Red, oranges, gold, a little bit of blue because it's mental also. I love it. I think it's perfect. All right, I just kind of simple, but I think it's perfect. It's suitable for this sign, okay? So now that I'm here as the oracle, because you guys know that I'm the oracle as well, right? The Ghana Goddess Oracle and the Ghana Goddess Outwear all in one. When I'm teaching and expressing myself and, doing a little bit of the spiritual work, I'm the oracle. And when I come in as the fashionista, all right? The best of both worlds. The arts with the spicy spirituality talk, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this outfit. I love it. It's just so me, right? I like glamour. I like respect. I like authority. And I also I'm a perfect combination of the masculine and the soft feminine. That is the energy that I'm trying to bring in. Everybody has both, right? So how you express that in your energy could be even in your clothing, how you design, right? This makes you very, how do I want to say this? It gives you, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? For me, the balance makes it perfect for me. I love it. Besides, Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so Sag can morph into anything it wants to morph into. So I'm not looking into the camera. I don't know why. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the full moon, right? Which is going to be coming this weekend, coming up in the sign of Gemini, but in the sun sign of what? Sagittarius. And then I'm also going to be talking about religion. This is going to be a powerful time. This is going to be very, very intense. And what I want to say is that people are going to understand where my perspective is. Okay, what do I think about religion? My own opinion, why I moved away from religion into deeper spiritual knowledge, which is just the backside of religion, right? Really getting into the deep aspect of what spirituality is. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to do the book. I didn't want to do the surface anymore. Because for me, it wasn't developing me. So I'm going to be talking about why I strayed away from religion and went deeper into the spirituality. You have to understand, I didn't start now in this lifetime. I've been doing this for a while. So I'm probably going to be channeling and saying things that I didn't even think about, but it's coming, from different lifetimes that will be coming through me. So I don't think I'm going to be doing a tarot today because I'm thinking of doing some tarot that's going to predict next year. So I want to do a whole 12 series, and I probably is going to, I don't want to talk about that, but so no tarot today. I'm only going to talk about why I chose to leave religion alone, and then definitely talk about the full moon, the energies that we've been going through. It's been a very not complex. I actually have enjoyed the Sag season because I've had a lot of aha moments, okay? A lot of downloads, spontaneous downloads that I didn't ask for, information just dropping in. So, the Soul Star is actually a name. The song that I introduced this with is actually a name of the 8th chakra, okay? The 8th chakra, so that's beyond the physical chakras, and it's kind of deep. So I love the song, that's why I picked it. I thought it was good introduction because Sagittarius is highly spiritual. It's the house of religion, and deeper awareness of yourself, your destiny, where you're going, traveling, moving into different places, and whether mentally or physically, and learning new ways of being, developing yourself. All right, the fire signs are all about personal soul development. That's what fire signs are good for, okay? So I'm not going to talk too much, but I'm going to get into it, and we're going to have a good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed my outfit. Yeah, because I do. I love it. I think it's perfect jumpsuit. right? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let me sit so we can have a chitty chatty, break away from the norm of doing things. That's why I'm doing my own shoes because it's time to change things up. I have this Africa one that I did. All right. I don't know if you guys can see very clearly. It's very nice. It's both legs, but hey, we are changing the face of shoes. I am. All right. I have sketches for like 10 years already. And finally, last year to this year, I decided that I'm gonna start doing it. I don't care what it takes, so I did it, and I hope that opens up a lot of creative flow when it comes to the shoe industry. All right, when we're setting trends, we're setting trends. That's just what we do. Yeah, as creators and artists and those who are in our field, we have to bring that revolutionary ideas that's going to change the face of what we do. So I've been all over the place. I've talked about fashion. I've talked about everything else. So let's just get into it, all right? See you guys. All right, everybody. Thank you, and welcome. Whilst we have this nice little chat, I think I'm gonna start um, with why I chose to stay away from religion, right? And for most of you out here that are watching me, that are my old friends, I know a lot of you are, religious people. So this might be a little difficult for you to grasp or try to understand. That's why it's part of the reason why I'm doing this. But really, it's not just about those of you, my friends, that need a little bit more clarity with where I'm going with all this. But it's also for the world to understand that not all of us are going to pretty much confine to what we came to see, right? Some of us are going to break out, go into our own understanding, make our own analysis, study what we need to study so we can draw our own conclusions, right? And I think that I'm one of those people that was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and I never got baptized because I just couldn't get with it, right? So, plus I was introduced to the Catholic Church as a child, Presbyterian Church, what else? I mean, anything you can think of, when it comes to the church business, I still, once in a while, I can go to church and go sit there and listen. I don't have anything really against the church, like that, where I can't mingle with people who go to church. That's not what this is about. So for those of you who think I'm here to bash the church, no, I'm too highly above those things to bring that to the table. So I hope you enjoy what we're going to talk about. I'm just going to get right into it, for you, so you can have a little bit clarity and understanding to where I'm coming from, by leaving religion alone, right? First, I want to talk about the history, right? The history, where this whole thing started. Let's go. The reason why I, Ajua, Ghana Goddess Oracle, or Ghana Goddess Artware, those of you who are here for the arts, decided that I wasn't going to be into religion and I wasn't going to be part of any church denomination or even spiritual, groups or things like that, is because I just didn't find any use for it. One. So, starting with the history, why I went all the way back to the beginning of things. To me, the beginning of things goes all the way to Egypt, ancient Kemet, right? Which is Egypt, Mesopotamia, Sumer, those, Ethiopian, that part, even the indigenous people of America, the Indians, okay, the Asians, they all started from where? Kemet. Kemet was the hub of information. Kemet was the first human, civilization, an organization where, a place where you could go and learn, a place where, the kings and the people that started to develop civilization for humanity, we'll sit down and try to understand the deeper meaning to things. So everything like the meaning to water, all of that, cosmetology and everything that has to do astronomy, whatever, all that stuff the ancient Egyptians started to understand. They broke it down, they studied it, and they wrote a lot on the wall. So when it comes to spirituality, the deeper meanings between all the elements, this universe, outside of our, earth plane and all that, the Egyptians were heavy into the deeper and the backside of all of this reality, because they were creating a civilization. They were creating a lifestyle for humanity. That's what they were doing. So they were the first people, as far as I know, in my studies. I don't know if that's a fact, so don't come and quote me all those things. What I've read and what I know, I always tell you guys that I'm going to tell you what I've read, okay, and what I've come to understand. So, and I'll tell you my personal experience, so you know the difference, so that you don't come here and tell me, oh, you're plagiarizing or you're lying or you're making up. No. What I know is that everybody around the world used to go over there, okay, to study, all right, to find information on, what's going on, our human state. I mean, everything that you can think about, the way to live. I mean, before the Bible was created, which they went to Egypt to get some information from the walls of Egypt. All right, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want all of you looking, most of you, some of you who don't want to hear that everything came from the black people or came from Egyptians to have a mini fit. This is not what this is about. All right, trust me, this is not about racism. This is about historical information and data that everybody can find out. All right, there were 42 laws of what? Mayats. Why did they create that? Because they were creating an existence and trying to, a lifestyle and how humans should behave and, live and all that. There were laws. There were, there's Osiris, Heru, the father, the mother, the child. All those stories, the Mary Jesus, and God story is there on the walls, okay, in Egypt. We have a different name for everything. I mean, hey, in my opinion, a lot was plagiarized from Egypt and even other older cultures who left Africa and settled in India, Asia, all the other indigenous groups and lands. Bottom line, they all have their stories too of how creation happened, how things started to make sense, right? Their own belief system of what God is not, what entities are, what air is, what spirit is, blah, blah, blah. And they all have the same thing going on, similar stories, but different variations, okay? And when you go to Egypt, the beginning of civilization, you will see that there's a lot that came from Egypt, because it is known that they all would go there and learn from there, okay? I'm not saying that maybe the Asians didn't create their own or the Indians didn't create their own. All I know is that there was a lot of information and studies being, learned from the walls of Egypt. So as a black person, that is north of Africa. That is my oldest culture. That is my oldest civilization. That's the beginning of my humanity. All right. My oldest ancestor is connected to Africa, right? So that is my world. So I don't care about everybody else. All I know is all humanity did migrate from Africa, though. If you go into evolution, science will tell you how we started, how we branched out, and how we changed with the weather and settlements and all that. But we're not doing science. We're not doing history. We're talking about spirituality. A lot of the spiritual understandings and different gods and all that stuff started in Kemet, Egypt. All right. And for us, the blacks, that's where we go. That is our beginning. So that's the root. So that's where I went. And when I went there and I didn't go to Egypt, but when I went into that studies and read a few things, pyramids, the ancient Egyptian writings and all the stuff that was there, I realized that my ancestors had a system for us, okay? uh, to follow. So for me, why worry about all the other ones that came after Egypt? I mean, if I want to wear designers, do I want to buy the knockoff one, or do I want to go and get the real Ralph Lauren from Macy's, where I know that the company works with Macy's and that is the original Ralph Lauren? Or do I want to go to the guy who sells the shirts on the roadside that says it's Ralph Lauren? That is a knockoff. So for me, that's how I see the other religion, especially Christianity, Islam, and all that. I see that they are all different branches and later on developed religion coming from the basis of learning things from Egypt and them making up their own gods or whatever else they want to do. I don't really want to get into that, right? So for me, why would I deal with a baby when I can go to the grandpa? Okay, so that's where I am with that. So that I went to the original, and when I start to study the original, understand the gods, the deities, their teachings, what they were teaching us to do, that makes more sense to me if I want to understand my history of whatever spirituality that I want to be into, right? So once I get that information down into my system, I understood that there was no need for all the other ones. Besides, it's just history, and also it is a fact, and everybody knows. Okay, it's not like I'm making up stuff in my head that Egyptians were doing this and that and that, and they started this and brought understanding to this, and I'm just no. These are stuff that are factual information that are there for you to study if you want to. So I didn't do too much delving into studying all that. All I needed to understand was they all came from there. So I went there, and that's it, right? And studied the gods and the stuff. But me personally, years went by, moved on, went into astrology and all that stuff. But when I started going through the real awakening, some of the first Egyptian god that appeared to me was Sekhmet. And it was a very interesting experience because in that dream state, she came as the lion head and a human body. But then she showed me the Egyptian book, the scrolls, and was telling me that I need to go back and study more information. And then before she left, her head changed into my head. Like the lion head turned into my head and her body. So for a long time, I was like, what is this connection that I have with Sekhmet? Which is, a fire goddess, a lion head goddess. All right. It makes sense. I'm a Leo. Archetypical energy is all connected. If you go back, you see that your roots all go all the way to the first person or the first entity or the first spiritual being. Everybody has a connection to a spiritual entity, a deity, a being beyond themselves. You go through the path, you see. Like, for instance, I also had a flashback, no, like a soul retrieval in a dream where I literally saw myself in a temple in Egypt, which means that I lived at it during that time, right? So that was a past life experience that I had. I told you this was going to be a deep conversation. I'm all over the place, but I'm making a point here. I'm telling you about the history, why I'm connecting to that. It's not just because of what I read, but also what I've experienced in my dream state to prove to me that I did come from there and I even lived at that time and I'm reincarnated. So in this dream state, I was in a temple and everybody was wearing white and they were all swaying and chanting, all right? And there were like fire candles, smoke, incense going all over the place. And I was sitting there with, it looks like that what was then the high priestess. And I was being initiated to be a priestess in that dream state. And I was complaining to the woman that was going to initiate me because it was my turn to set up to get initiated. And I was telling her that I don't think that I want to go through with this because it's so much work and so much dedication, and I have to be at the temple all day, worshiping the gods and giving them water and incense and all this prayers. It's like I was complaining about how complex the job is to be a priestess, and the priestess was like telling me that it's going to get easier with time and I'm going to be okay. So she was telling me this stuff. making me feel okay and preparing me for my initiation. But then in that same instance, they were all chanting the word. And before then, I mean, I used to call the Egyptian god Amen Ra, the sun god Amen Ra. That's how I pronounced it. But in the dream, it was corrected. I was saying, everybody was saying Amun Ra. So they were all chanting the sun god's name, swaying all around like this and saying Amun Ra. And I was chanting too. So I remembered and I woke up. I remembered that I have gone through that initiation. So I woke up and I knew that I used to worship and I used to be a part of this high spiritual system of ancient Egypt. That's not just it. I also saw myself. I remember in the beginning stages of my spiritual development and awakening, there was another dream where I saw myself in the dream in Egypt. It's like I was in a different lifetime where I went on excursion. Like, you know how people go to visit Egypt and you all take the bus and you go there. And I was wearing a hat. It's like more of a modern kind of like lifestyle. It wasn't ancient or in the early 18s. It looks like, I don't know. I was wearing a hat and I was wearing pants, you know, like linen pants and whatever. And we all got down at Egypt. We got there like we're going there to explore Egypt and study about Egypt. And I knew it was a past life regression because what happened was as soon as we got down and I put my foot on the soil of Egypt, I got a surge of energy like running through my whole body and like the whole thing just, it was like it shot into my third eye and then I saw a vision right there of me remembering myself in an Egyptian era where I was there in a temple doing stuff. So it's like in the dream, I had a vision, a clairvoyant vision in the dream. And I woke up feeling the same vibration through my body, like shaking like electric charge through my whole body. That was an experience that I will never forget. And after that dream, basically I was remembering that I was already clairvoyant. That's what that dream was. But it took me back to a past life where I went to Egypt, and as soon as my foot touched the soil, I remembered that I was from there and I've been there before. I can go to another dream where I saw myself like I was a warrior. I was like a twin. Okay, now that dream, it puts me into Bastet and Sekhmet again. Like I was that deity, like for some reason. I don't understand. So for some time now, for a while, I always used to think, what am I, Sekhmet? Or I'm really from that bloodline. Anyway, I saw myself as a warrior. I was basically just wearing rags on my, tied around my private, and I looked fit. And I was running with a spear, jumping hurdles, like different lifetime, pretty much. And then I saw a king. And then when I saw the king, I was like, is this who I am? And he said, now you remember. So I remembered myself also as a twin and as a warrior in a different lifetime, still in Egypt. Okay, so these are some of the few reasons why I cannot bend into anything else. Because in my own experiences, I have remembered who I am. I have remembered my time and who I worship and what I believe in and all that stuff. Okay, so will I be okay with Jesus now? That's a whole different thing, okay? And adopt the new age religion and all that. Honestly, I don't see myself doing that, right? It holds no relevance anymore. I can do it for fun, for respect and for whatever, whoever I'm around, if it makes them feel good. But for me, do I need it? It doesn't validate anything. It doesn't do anything for me. It's just paying respect to other deities and other gods and other things. All right, so that's been my connection to my spiritual origin in Egypt. All right, there's a few more, but that would take too much. And I told you guys this was going to be an intense conversation because this is some of the things that you cannot prove to anybody, but you've experienced and you know. But I'm not going to hold it back because I want you guys to understand something. Your life, your journey is yours. What you experience will make you or break you or whatever. It will shape you and to bring you into your truth, your knowing and all that. Sometimes it's not about other people, but sometimes sharing these experiences with other people, like what I'm doing with you, if people take you for what you're saying that is true, it could help them to understand that, okay, there's a possibility. That's why I'm saying this in the first place. There's a possibility for me to experience these things. And I'm capable of finding out for myself without anybody else helping me. If I follow certain path, right, of true development, I'll be able to awaken and know things for myself. All right. So that's why I talk about it. It's not about anything else, guys. So just understand why I'm telling you why I don't see the relevance. Okay. So that's my little history and a little bit of why I chose Egypt. I don't even need to read the books and all that stuff anymore because I already know. I already connected, okay? I already understand from my own sleep state, my dream state when I, left my body and, all that stuff, okay? So that's my origin, okay? That's my origin to why I'm not into religion. But this happened years after somebody. There was a human being I met, a man I met that was an American that I met in Ghana that sat me down and schooled me. I used to call him my Jesus Christ. Why? Because I felt like after those conversations with that man, I had started to change. My mind started to flip into different. This is way before I even started having the dreams and the spiritual experiences. All right, this is like I had just finished high school, 1996, 1997, 1997 more specifically. I met this American man, older man, and he was telling me about Egypt and how we're blacks and how they were kings and queens and me being born into a royal family, both father and mother side. I was trying to understand the connection to the royal family, to the Egyptian era and all that stuff. And this man sat me down and told me, all about slavery, what slavery did, and, our roots into Egyptian. Talked about the Inquisition, how Christianity was forced down down our throats. People were getting their heads chopped off, a lot of death over accepting this new religion. This was going on all over the world, especially in Africa, how it was forced on us, like either accept Christ or, we'll kill you. People died for it. And it got intense. I mean, I learned a lot. I started to understand, what really went down with the African Americans over here, what their state of awareness is, all this stuff, all this stuff started to, make sense. I started to have an emotional connection to the past and the experiences that our ancestors went through. So for me, that was enough. I didn't even need to study anything else. It wasn't like he was making stories up. He gave me a lot. He read a lot of books and he taught me a lot. And that was a very good teacher there. So for me, I was different after that. I really was not the same person. My mind was not in the same space of everything is all hunky-dory anymore, right? So maybe it all added up to the fact that I never took the church serious even more so after that, right? It makes sense because when you hear all those horrific stuff and you go to the dungeons in the slave trade and all that, and you see what's going on with African Americans, especially when you come to this country, your perception changes. Okay, so you're not in this fairy tale land anymore. You start to have deeper understanding of the implications of some of these actions and what religion, them forcing that new religion onto Africans and doing all that in the midst of slavery and all that just didn't help. So for me, that was another straw for me where no, I'm not going to be a part of anything that came and took away, a part of me. Okay? Yeah, someone will be like, well, you weren't even there. You didn't feel it, but it's in my bloodline and it's my people. And we're still living and looking at it now. So what are you talking about, right? Besides, if you are empathetic and you are human, you have to feel the past, the present, and the future. It doesn't need to be in your face, okay? People cry over movies that are not real all the time. Why is that? Because we're naturally emotional, empathetic beings. When we're in touch with our true selves, it doesn't matter if it wasn't us. We can feel it. And it's like living the scenario within yourself, awakening the whole new me. So that I carry a pain, slavery, pain, and and I even feel the pain of the gods. Imagine if you were an African god at that time and slavery happened and some other race coming into your country, not only are they enslaving you, they are forcing you to accept their gods and telling you that they are no good and everybody's you just stops worshiping you and treating you like you're evil god. Meanwhile, you've been taking care of them and all this time and they just kind of left you and betrayed you. Imagine you stepping down or not being worshipped or like people looking up to you anymore if that's what you used to do. I feel the pain of the African gods. I feel the pain of our ancestors. I don't have to be there to experience it, but I feel it. So you just have to put yourself in that scenario. That's how you will get it. So for me, that aspect, the whole slavery part to it, and bringing that new deity in, the Jesus deity in for us, just didn't fly for me. Because if I want to worship Jesus, I'll worship Heru, because Heru is the Jesus in Egypt. So why bother? We have our own Jesus. So what's the point? So anyway, I don't want to be all into that because that's not the point of all of this. Okay. So we just need to understand that. For me, I knew that with all that I have been through, we had a system before Christianity came. Everybody was not learning the spiritual gifts and getting into it, and the priests and those who were studying deeper spiritual understandings were developing those powers. But we still had a system where we had our gods, multiple gods and all that, right? So what is wrong with that system? There was nothing wrong with it until somebody said, oh, that's the demons. It's the demonic way of worshiping. Not somebody, those who enslaved us and brainwashed us that, no, don't worship your own gods. Don't do this, don't do that, right? So I don't know why we even after all these years that slavery has been over, because it's a mental thing and it's in your bloodline. If you think what it doesn't happen to you doesn't affect you, think about it. Why are you still doing what your mama and your grandma did? Because they're raising you to do what they did. So how do you break that? You just stop doing what they did. But, unfortunately, Africa is still deep under religion and all that. I say it's unfortunate because it's not ours. And if you don't like what I'm saying, that's your business. That's your business. That's a fact. I'm not making it up. So it is what it is. All right. So we're still neglecting our gods. We're still treating them as if they are hidden entities, and we're still hiding them. What bothers me is the Christians that are merging it, but they are hiding it. Why are you hiding the old way of worship and making it seem as if it's evil? Why? Why are you so afraid of your own spiritual system? Why are you allowing what was said to you to still control you? I don't like those who hide it and go to church and then go back home and have the altar. I don't like it. I'd rather you tell everybody that, hey, I'm a Christian, I've adopted it, but I'm also, ancestral worshiper. I worship many gods. I love all these gods, or maybe I work with these gods. I don't worship the gods, I work with them. Whatever it is, why are you hiding it? Why are you calling it evil? That's something that I can't get wrapped around my head, because that makes it like you're not being true, you're betraying yourself. What is it? You think that any god would want to be hidden? Any entity would want to be hidden? No. So for me, in this new day and age, that's what I wish would not happen. If you go to the people that do tarot like the way I do, a lot of them are Christians. Some of them don't know anything about spirituality. They study the cards and they use cards to develop their intuition and they can read the cards. There's all kinds of people that are using all different ways to tap into their own spiritual abilities out there. All right. And it has nothing to do with being a part of any religion or anything like that. Anything that can bring you a sense of personal knowing and personal power is good for your own development. For me, I just don't see the point anymore. I just don't. People act as if the Bible is the only book. There were books and things written before the Bible. What about that? Did you even know that the God in the Bible had a wife? The old religion used to have female and male gods being worshipped together. They came and separated all that. I don't even want to get into that. Right? So all this new age thing that we've been forced down our necks, we are in a space where we don't have to do it anymore. We can choose. And if you want to do it, you can continue doing it. I mean, nobody's going to stop you. I don't think it's wrong for people to be Christians, Muslims, whatever. It's your own cup of tea. It's just my personal experience. I feel like, if spirituality, studying the true act of spirit, it is your highest way of being, then I want the truth. I want my truth and nothing more. I want to experience it. If there's truly something that created me, then I want to see that thing. I want to know it. Before I put all this energy and trust and believe into something outside of me, then I want to know that thing. And if I go to the church and I still don't get to know that entity that supposedly created me, then I'm in the wrong place. So that's another reason why I exited, because I wasn't seeing God, hearing angels, or anything like that I was taught in the Bible. Until I started developing and meditating. And back in the days, those who were developing their spirituality and the true learners of the spiritual and universal systems were chanting and meditating, because it was the true gateway into developing and opening up within. We all pray all the time, but what is going to awaken you is chanting and meditating, connecting with you. And that's what they used to do. Now we all can meditate. So what's stopping us now from developing the spirit within? You cannot know what you don't know within. You can't speak and experience what you don't feel. So it's like, are we okay still, in my opinion, are we still okay in believing in the story we've been taught in religion? Or do we want to see it, feel it, and experience it? I see angels. I hear the gods. I see some of the gods. But I didn't do it through their religion. So what's the point? My point is exactly that. What's the point? If you can't get it there, find another system to do it. But something as powerful as spirituality, where it rules every aspect of your being. In this day and age, we know that we're spiritual beings having physical experience. So that makes it number one. So why would I want to leave that to chance or to faith or belief? No, I wouldn't. I feel like I want the truth. I want my truth, and I want to know, and I don't want to sit here and imagine. I don't want to be in any illusion or any deception. I mean, I understand why the average person still even today doesn't really know the true system of developing your spirituality within you. Because even back in the days, it was only the priest and the selected few that were trained for that. But right now, we're in a system where we're in the new age of Aquarius, where we all have the tools, meditation, and the knowledge and information to study those things about ourselves, like getting into astrology, meditating, doing different intuitive practices that's going to help you to get in touch with this spirit that they say is within us. I know it's within us. I saw my soul come out of my own body. It was white and black. That's when I really adopted that yin and yang Chinese symbol, that spiritual symbol. Because I know that that's the color, that's how my soul looked like. It was two airy things moving. One was white and one was black, but it was intertwined, and then it had my face on top. And then I hugged that spirit. I know some of you be like, this girl is crazy. When you listen to what I'm telling you, this girl is crazy. What is she talking about? That she hugged the air? Yes, I hugged my own soul. I have seen my own spirit, my soul, walk out of my own body. And I see my body laying there, and I'm going, and I go into a tunnel of color, and I go to a different place. I've seen it. It's not reserved for just priests anymore, because now I know I was a priestess. I was, in a past life. So, yeah, some of my gifts are out there for the average person. But, yeah, it is not reserved for that people anymore. Okay? We all can do it now. We all can develop it and know for ourselves now. It is not okay for you to come and introduce your gods to me and at the detriment of me losing my gods. It's not okay. You can't come here and come and take over. You can take over, fine. Let's say you want to take over. Because, people get conquered all the time. Egypt got conquered by the Greeks who didn't invade Egypt. Everybody, every monarchy, every hierarchy, even the presidents, they have a turn. They have to move for someone. So we all go through those things, but not at the detriment of saying that our gods are evil and our way of worship is wrong. And that is how I feel like we still live in that self-hate. Okay, as Black people, we still live in that self-hate. Or anybody that feels oppressed, okay, you still live in that self-hate, that your higher system is no good, is demonic, it's wrong to go and see the gods, it's wrong to burn a candle, it's wrong to practice voodoo, it's wrong, it's demonic. But meanwhile, everybody else is doing it. That's the part. So it's not right. That's the only part that I don't like. It's not right. You can introduce your God to me, because before religion into one God, we all worship many gods. Even now, a lot of us worship many gods. The Indians do, the Asians. There are multiple gods. It's not a secret. So I can adopt Jesus if I want to adopt Jesus, Mary, and Islam and all that stuff if I want to. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm open. The universe is for us. But I'm not going to do that at the detriment of me betraying my own gods. I'm not going to let go of Isis, Osiris, and Mun-Ra and all that and call them demons because now I'm here with Jesus. No, that's betrayal to yourself and to your culture and to your people and to everything that you know. That's where I have a problem with. That's where I am. That's where I am with that. Okay? That's why I'm not into religion, because I'm not going to leave my gods. I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm a loyal servant to the African gods. I am Black and I'm proud. Yeah. I'm authentic and truthful to who I am, where I came from, where we are, and all that stuff. That's who I really am. I'm a truth seeker. I have to be true to myself. I can't adopt anybody that I don't want to. That I feel like is going to tell me that mine is no good. No. You can't come tell me to adopt your children, but then my kids are evil. No, you can't tell me that. Right? Makes no sense. So, and I know that some Africans have managed to mix it well and they've blended it, but they hide it. That's the only part that I don't like, Don't hide it. Say I'm a Christian and I also have that in the house. That's where I'm at. Why would your God still be on your side when you treat them like they don't exist? Some of the sufferings and poverty and all that stuff in Africa is because we've neglected our spiritual system and our gods, in my opinion. You want to prosper, if you want prosperity, you should go and look for the spirits of wealth, the gods of wealth, and venerate them, bring them back to life, show them respect, give them what they want, do what you used to do. If you don't want to develop it for yourself, you don't want to develop the system within you. Because another step to all this is that everything that is outside of you is inside of you. So the God of money is in you, the God of air is in you, the God of wisdom is in you. When you develop your system, you have tapped into those deities within you. Okay? And that's a next level conversation, because people are afraid, because religion brought fear into spirituality. That's what religion did. Because you are scared of this God that will kill all these people and wipe the whole world off and all this stuff, like, you know, the flood and all that stuff. So everybody is scared to do something to this particular God, as if there were no gods before that God showed up. So everybody's scared to see the concept of deity or God within ourselves. You know, it's like, oh, abomination, what are you saying? We are not gods. Do you make the wind blow? Do you know that what makes this happen? Do you know what makes the rain rain? You can't say that you are God when you can't create rain and all that. The reason why you talk that way is because your understanding of a God is a definition that is not the right definition. That's why you have a problem with seeing the divinity in yourself. And you are so scared because, oh, the fear that religion has put in you will make you feel like, oh, you are going to be struck down by any. Come on. When you understand the spiritual system, you will realize that you are developing all your powers within you. That's what you're developing. You're sharpening it. Everybody has all the skills that they could use. Some are stronger and some are not. You know, like me, my highest gift will be clairvoyance, my vision, my dream state. So if I'm clairvoyant, that's my highest spiritual power, right? So what type of deity would I be? A deity that will foresee the future and tell you, yeah, I see this happening, da 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 da. Can see things happening and put things together. That is what it is. It's not anything the way you've been taught to think. Mythology is within you. Myth is in you. Deity is, spirit is you. You are the spiritual being having the physical experience. When your eyes close, how do you know? You are expressing life from within out. It's not okay. I mean, I was not content with the physical teaching. How many times do I have to be told that killing is no good? How many times do I have to be told that this a God story or some Bible story? And how many times do I have to be told that? We've been graduated. That's kindergarten knowledge. We're trying to figure out how we can see the angels. And when the angels speak, I can hear it. If it's true, if there is stuff like that, that's what we are. It's not enough. We need college degrees in spirituality on an average level, because that's how we're going to evolve into a better standing. People will not be able to lie to you anymore. Imagine me wanting to know something about someone, or even I'm having a conversation with someone. They didn't finish talking, right? And maybe we have to get off the phone or something like that. I go to sleep and the conversation continues in my dream state, and they get to tell me what they were going to tell me. Is that supernatural? It is called supernatural because to us humans, we are not being developed, we're not being trained on how to use these abilities within us. That is the spiritual power that we all hold. Why should I finish the conversation? Why can't I finish the conversation with you? Because we're beyond physical too. We are spiritual beings. So it's like nobody's going to be able to hide anything from you. If things are about to happen, you sense it, you know. Even the dogs be barking when there's a storm coming. Why? Because their senses are intact. But a human being will sit there, a tornado will be coming, she doesn't hear it or he doesn't hear it on the news. They wouldn't sense it. That is not how our system is. We are meant to be in touch with everything, the ground, the air, the fire, every element within us that is outside of us. We're supposed to be connected with it. And until we develop that spiritual energies within us, we're not going to be able to understand how powerful we are. Because why? We're waiting for something. We're looking outside of ourselves. Okay? And that's another thing that we need to get away from. You don't need to believe and have faith in what you've not seen. The only thing that's going to give me ultimate faith and belief is when I know. When you know something, you don't have to even believe or have faith. What's the point? When you believe and you have faith and you don't know what you believe and have faith in, then where are we going? What is this? Who are we fooling? The only thing that's going to empower you, protect you, and guide you and really give you truth and authenticity is when you develop your own spiritual self, which is your intuition, all the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the claircognizance, all of the clairs, which is your spiritual essence. Awaken that, because then you realize that when you go to the church, you are just having fun with your friends and meeting people you meet. It's like going to school. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's not, unless that church or that group is teaching you, you are sitting there and it's teaching you how to develop your spiritual hearing, how to develop your spiritual eyes to the real spiritual practice and process within yourself. I feel like it's kindergarten. My honest opinion. I don't want to disrespect anybody, or I don't want to make anybody feel any kind of way. That is why I'm telling you, this is the reason why I don't do religion. The reason why I don't do religion is because I think I've passed that grade already, to the point where I want to know the backside of religion. I am living the backside of religion. The reason behind religion, what holds religion together is spirituality, is spirit. We're studying spirits and the rules that governs the spirit and this world. So you study that within you, develop that within you. Period. You want to know the true meaning behind miracles. How does miracles happen? How does that happen? But miracles happen for people who have developed their spiritual senses all the time. They put in a thought, then they see signs of how the thoughts are coming together in numbers, in people talking, in images, all kinds of stuff. People are experiencing miracles every single day in their life. Don't even know it's a miracle, because the concept of spirituality and miracle is being so screwed in a way where we think that it's so out of reach of us. What I'm trying to tell you is that if something cannot become practical and realistic in the physical form, then maybe it may not even exist, because everything that is supernatural is also practical, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to break this down. You need both for it to make sense. What gives proof to supernatural is physicality. What gives proof to supernatural is the physicality. So one cannot exist without the other. You living half of you is not giving you a chance to experience the other side. Do we understand it? It is not reserved for priests anymore. We're not in the age of Pisces anymore. We're in the new age of Aquarius, where we know and we're developing and we want the truth. We care about humanity evolving into our higher selves. So no, there's no need for religion anymore, where some few have to develop it and talk to us and teach us. We all can develop it now and can help ourselves, our families, and change our lives in small knit places and then take it to higher levels. So for me, I just don't see the relevance. Okay? Yeah. For all those reasons I talked about, I just feel like I'll be settling for little when I can have all. Maybe it's because, naturally I've been on that path for a while. But I hope that for those of you who are into religion, I hope you realize that I'm not telling you to go and stop going to church and stop being religious. What I'm telling you is that, to sum up everything that I'm saying, is that from my point of view and from all that I've experienced, just by meditating and opening up my spirituality, it has made me even closer to the God that we go and pray to. I see it. It's my reality. It's my experience. Okay? It's in my experience. I have seen angels. Archangel Michael, who? What? In human form. I've seen angels with wings. Whatever it is. Certain deities. I've heard voices. What? Why? I mean, it's like, I didn't do that by sitting there every Sunday and reading the Bible. Nobody got anywhere by, just studying, or, not practicing what they are learning. Nobody. You know, it's like we're not there anymore. I'm not. I personally just don't. People cast a spell on you, you would know. People do things behind you, whisper, I go in dreams where I go to places and hear conversations that people are having about me. Can you imagine that? Being able to do that. And it's not about getting high over that. It's about you protecting yourself, being in charge of your whole essence, your being, your life, and people that are around you and what their intentions are, and just really, I don't even know what else to say. It's like I just don't want to be in the darkness. I don't want to not know. I don't want to be waiting on one God when there are other gods sitting there not telling me they are waiting on, like they are coming to do anything, but I can talk to them and they can help me to get what I want. God of money, God of air, God of beauty, God of what? What? God of wisdom. So Tehuti. It's the beginning of wisdom. Are you serious? Why would I be sitting here just, no. When I leave this physical body, I want to see my grandmother that's dead and gone. I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see my ancestors. And that was our original culture. And not just black people. All over. Europeans. If you watch the Vikings, they will show you how they worship their gods. They had gods, Greeks, every culture believes and worships their ancestors. Why? Because that's true. This person really did live. So when I leave, I want to see them. It makes sense. One of the first initiations, actually the first initiation that happened to me in the dream state, whilst I was meditating on my spiritual awakening path, was me meeting my ancestors. They came into my room and I saw them. Ancestors that I don't know. I didn't come and meet them, but I knew their names. They came into my room. They are the ones that initiated me and asked me what my mission, what I want to do, and all that stuff. And your ancestors are always working with you and helping you, protecting you, and removing people from your life and all that stuff. But you are just living a physical experience, waiting for something to happen. And meanwhile, you could have been connecting with everything and everyone, spirit or physical, to make things happen. Okay? Why? Because what? Because of fear? Because that's what your mother said? Or that's what the society is showing you? And then, what else? Nah, my dearest. This is why Adwoa is Adwoa, Ghana Goddess. Because I have decided that my life is going the way that I want it to go. And nobody's going to use fear. Nobody's going to tell me that what I came to meet is the only thing. Nobody's going to do that to me anymore. I'm not under any deception, illusion. People do rituals on me, I see. People talk about me, I hear. Those that I want to know. If I really want to know, I'll know. Things are about to happen to me that is of grave importance. I see before it happens. What else do you want? What else? I hope I'm encouraging you to not settle for just religion. The whole point to this conversation is for you to know that you can do more. Alright? You can have Jesus, have Allah, have Buddha, have all the gods, but also have you to make things happen. Develop you so that you can also make things happen for yourself. Period. I don't even know what else to say. It's like the point of religion is to understand spirituality. So study it. Study it by practicing it. True spirituality. Right? To me, to be religious is like, oh, continue to believe in a book that you're reading. You know how many books, spiritual books, are there before the Bible? Anyway, let's not settle for less. Those are the reasons why I'm not religious, because there's too much. There's too much meat in the soup for me to settle for that goat head. I want the koto, the crab, I want the wele, I want all of it. Then I'll decide, I like the taste of the goat better. That's it. That's why I'm not religious, because I don't want to be confined and put into a box that I'm not growing, okay? That I'm not understanding, that I'm just living on faith and just words. And no, I'm too realistic. Not when so much has happened where, like, a lot of bad things can happen to you, and then you were like, is there truly a God there? Then why is God allowing me to suffer like this? When you start asking those questions, you have to start going deeper than those questions. Am I in charge, or is somebody in charge? And if this person is in charge of me, why is this person sitting there and allowing me to suffer? Those are some serious questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Why is the suffering happening? Why is the injustice happening? Why is the imbalance? Why? Is somebody truly controlling me? Is this karmic debt? Is this my destiny? Why is that person doing so well and I'm always struggling? I don't even know what I'm going to eat. Shouldn't you be asking what is going on here? Okay, why is it that everything starts to change when I get a job? Who told me to get a job? Was it me, or was it something higher than that? What is going, what? How do you do that? How do you connect those things? People, in my opinion, simply need to ask the simplest questions and be honestly answer those questions. It's just that simple. If you do that with religion and you apply that process to everything, you will see that things will become more clearer, I feel. And even in the case of religion, understanding will start to get clearer. And one thing about your mind and my mind and the mind of the universe is, if you ask, you receive. That's a fact. It's not just in the Bible. If you ask questions, your mind will create scenarios, places, synchronicities for you to get the true understanding of what you're trying to find out. But if you don't seek, you will never find. If you don't seek true spiritual knowledge, you never find. And if you are content to religion, that's good. But for me, the reason why I don't do religion is because I'm past it. That's all. It's not about race. It's not about this God is bad God, good God. No, I'm not the judge of anything. But I have the power to control my life and what I think that works for me. And that's just it. So yeah, I mean, if you're getting everything, direction, guidance, protection, feeling empowered to know things and do things, and all the good things that come with spiritual development within, and you get that from your church, by all means, continue to go and continue to do it the way you do it. But if you feel that some people if you feel that it's not enough, then I'm here to tell you there's ways to get there. And that is depending on yourself, period. Practicing what you can do, developing your abilities so that you can navigate your life. It's just that simple. So, yeah, am I missing anything else? Trying to think, am I missing anything else? Did I write something important that I didn't? Not really. It's just that simple. I just want to know. I don't want to believe. I don't want to imagine. I don't want to think. I just want to know. That's it. That's the bottom line. I wanted to know. I wanted to practice. I wanted to feel. I wanted to understand. I wanted to really be like, yeah, it's true. There is God. Yeah, it's true. There's angels. Yeah, that's what I wanted to feel. Because I wanted to ask them, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? You can't create me and do this. You can't do this. Why did you create me? What's the point? So that's, it's like, yeah, that's soul searching, and those answers needed to be answered. Somebody needed to be held accountable for the life that I'm living. Why was I born? What the world am I doing here? Who am I? All that. Okay, so whatever God was, God had a lot of questions to answer. Okay, so with all that, it took me to the path that I'm in now, and I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. I think that at this point, I'm just going over and over, because if there's any part two to this, I'll do it. Whatever have come through that needs to be said, I have said it. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with, yeah, do you, just do you, question everything, and honestly answer everything, and you'll be all right. That's how I feel. Yeah, my next video here, I'm gonna post a different one, and we're gonna talk about the full moon. I'm not doing tarot this season. I will do tarot in a different way, like a prediction for the next year or something like that. So I'll see you guys there if you want to watch that. See the energies that I've been going through. I'll talk a little bit about what has been happening to me energetically in the Sag season with the Gemini full moon coming up. Yeah, let's have that discussion. All right. Yep, I'll see you there. Bye.